Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 158 of the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is Mr. Ryan.
How's it going?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm swell. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Rhino, how are things up there?
Hello.
Oh, is that good, huh? Mr. Nello, back with us again. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I just wonder how the smoke from Canada reaches Florida.
I hear that, too. That's a little sketchy.
Right? That's all. That's it.
Yeah, but so what he's talking about is today in beautiful sunny Florida. It was foggy, as I thought, all day. And then we got a air quality warning halfway through the day, and I was like, what? And it said, yeah, this is smoke from the wildfires in Canada. That's why it's a foggy day, smoggy day.
You know what I'm thinking of right now? I'm sitting here 6 months removed from the first smoggy day, and I'm picturing that meme. First time.
It's still crazy that it traveled half the country to get the middle of Florida. Like, it's nuts, but it is what it is.
Hey,
it rains too much around here. We don't get forest fires.
Right. I don't know. It's wild. It's wild. That's all I know.
Legit.
Hey, good week here for the Alter Ego Podcast. The writer's strike tentatively over. Getting back to work. Let's hear it for him. Good for you guys. Ugh. I just know that I can sleep better knowing that the writers and the producers are going to be able to keep working, because I know they were just so close to bankruptcy and sleeping out of a cardboard box. And
that's honestly probably why it ended.
So
I mean, honestly, the prices of hookers and cocaine has really skyrocketed.
It's really outrageous these days. You know, so I'm really glad they were able to do that, because be still my heart if they weren't able to give me the 15th season of SpongeBob. What would I have done?
Hey man, who lives in their pineapple under the sea?
I don't know who.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Gross. So you were telling me a couple projects that got greenlit right after the writer's strike ended.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
There's a list of some projects that Marvel's jumping out of the gate right away with, and one of them was Deadpool, straight out, the first one.
Right, and we know that Deadpool is already halfway through production, at least. Well, maybe not at least, but they were a good chunk into production.
Yeah,
we got images of Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's version that is already on screen.
Hey, by chance, one of those wasn't Blade, was it?
No, actually it was. So
let's go.
So it's Deadpool, Daredevil, Born Again, Thunderbolts, Wonder Man, and Blade.
There we go.
Hoping to God to finally cast the Fantastic Four.
It still sucks.
You know who Ryan reminds me of every single time he talks about Blade? He reminds me of Chris Tucker from Rush Hour 2, where he's playing craps, and he's like, "How come all the white people at the table got $10,000 chips and the black man got a nickel?"
He does not. I can't wait to go see Blade with you in theaters.
It'll be.
I'm actually flying down. I will. I'm not kidding. I'm going to fly down to be there.
You're still gonna have to give him that $1, though. You know that, right?
You didn't say you got 3 months.
No, I do have 3 months. Oh wait, 3 months until it was supposed to be released.
Technically, you said before 2024.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, you lost that $1.
Adios. That shit.
I'll have to go down to the bank, iron $1, get it laminated, even though it's illegal.
I
need starch for this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad that I'm more excited for Daredevil Born Again off this list than anything else?
No,
it's not bad.
Yeah, and that's going to be an amazing series, and it's going to be the longest series Disney has ever done.
Yeah,
it's
going to be an actual television series.
Right. I need some Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio. I need it. I need it in my life, because everything else so far Marvel's given me past the end game has been.
I think we're going to get 20. What is it? 26 episodes for Born Again.
It's at least 20. It's at least 20. I can't remember the exact number, but it's at least 20.
Crazy.
Wow.
The project that I'm most excited about on that list is Deadpool by far.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Just knowing the implications that are being set up for that.
Right. I mean, we've said it 1,000 times how much money Ryan Reynolds has already been paid to play this character, and he hasn't shot a single frame.
So, I'm stuck on this Daredevil thing being 20 plus episodes.
Yeah.
I'm having a rough time getting through 6 or 7 in these series now, and they're gonna drop 20 on us.
I think so. There are certain characters that TV shows work for, and Daredevil's one of them.
But does that mean that then they have no intention of integrating him into the MCU?
No, not at all.
Yes, he will be a part. He will play cameos.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get like a movie.
I
He's
don't
not
think
going to be like a supporting character like Bucky or anything like that, but he will play cameos in some of the upcoming movies.
18. But still, that's 3 times longer than some of these ones that are coming out now.
But I can tell you this: if you told me that there was going to be 18 episodes of Loki season 1,
yeah,
I'm all about it.
Yeah,
all about it.
I still think, and I disagree with you, Rhino. I don't think Daredevil's going to be a cameo style character. I think he will get a Bucky Barnes level role in certain movies, especially if they end up going Defenders and doing something like that, which they very well could. I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see a Daredevil movie. I'd love it.
Maybe like a street level type where you get Spider-Man, him, and everybody else, but as a solo Daredevil
the only problem with that is with a street level movie, and you bring in all the street level guys, and then you add somebody like Spider-Man to the lineup, is it's like kind of like the Justice League with Superman. Like you have all these guys that are kind of mid-level, except for maybe like Luke Cage, and unless you're introducing Doctor Strange and some of those heavier hitters, if you do all the street level guys and add Spider-Man, all you need is Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
I got
wasn't Doctor Strange a Defender?
Is what you're saying?
Yes, he is. I'm talking the traditional Jessica Jones.
Oh, if you just did just a street level, okay,
right? Because like Luke Cage isn't hanging with Spider-Man. Yeah. He may not be able to be hurt, but he's not hanging with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man beats the brakes on Luke Cage.
Yeah. But that would be good. I mean, I'm happy to see that move back into production. I'm happy to see Blades at least on the list. And hopefully in this time, one of these writers has been in a shed writing the script for Blade over and over again and making sure that works.
Hopefully we get a cast for Fantastic Four, which is supposed to set up the next arc.
It's got to.
We don't need that anytime soon, though. I'm okay with waiting on that.
I'm okay with them taking the time to develop Fantastic Four in the background with X-Men joining the fray, because if you have X-Men showing up and you have Professor Xavier and Magneto and all these big X-Men characters, it almost becomes too jumbled even for Marvel.
Aren't you a little scared of the like? I get that they've we were talking off air, they're starting to reboot and talk about X-Men and the direction they want to go. Are we a little scared though? X-Men just seems to be one of those franchises that maybe the first movie is really good, but as they progress, they just get worse.
No. It's because they also they sway away too much from the comic book and actual stories. That's why. I mean, this stuff hasn't. They all haven't been terrible. I'll say that much. Yeah. Some of them have actually been entertaining. Some of them, like Monday, I actually love like Future Past when they brought in Bishop and they brought in Cable.
Yeah, although Bishop played a very minimal role in that.
Yeah,
which was disappointing. But the fact that he was there.
Yeah, no, because Bishop's arguably one of my favorite X-Men. I mean, other than like the top tier, Bishop has been my guy. So to see him, I was like, and then for him to have such a minimal role, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Well, let me ask this. Let me ask you of the group.
Sure.
The next big bad after the Kang saga is done, the next big bad has to be Galactus, right?
It is. That's what I've been reading online.
Unless so if it's after. Well, with the Celestials being in play, I would imagine, it's got to be Galactus. I mean, obviously we got Kang, but why would you introduce Celestials and then the Fantastic Four and not go Galactus? Which, not in terms of scale, but like, isn't Doctor Doom a bigger bad than Galactus? I mean, from comic book standpoint, not. Okay, I don't mean physically bigger or power.
Oh yeah, in terms of role on the saga, yes, Doctor Doom is a bigger big bad. Yeah,
on a continuous level with the Fantastic Four, yes. But if you're like talking like monster major villain, Galactus is a major villain.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm talking narratively speaking.
Yeah,
Doom is a bigger. Okay, maybe not a bigger bad,
he's an anti-hero,
but a bigger character.
Because Doom does sometimes
the problem with that is
so bad and. You know what I mean?
Doom plays to Doom. That's the thing that I love about him is you don't know where he is or what his personal gain is, but he's never going to be the good guy. He may help the good guys, but he's never the good guy.
The problem with Doom is that Doom is not a bigger big bad than Thanos or Kang.
Sure, no, not at all.
So if you go with the next entire saga with Doom being like the big bad, it's a step down in my opinion. I think that you could start off the next saga with Doom playing like a Loki role, where he has the villain aspect at the beginning, then he kind of has the good guy anti-hero aspect afterwards, and you have Galactus being the main big bad. I think that would be a great ride. That's the way to go, in my opinion.
I'd love to see a Henry Cavill Doom. And then, I mean, it's kind of not really in the spectrum of possibility now with Odin being dead, but of that Henry Cavill Dr. Doom getting the Odin Force and being that powerful.
Holy shit. I didn't know that actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple different storylines where Doom becomes ridiculously OP. There's where he gets the Odin Force.
Yep.
There's another one where he gets what's the one in Secret Wars 2? What's the power that he gets? Is it the Heart of the Universe, or is it the where he becomes God Doom?
I don't know. I know he kills Thanos in that one.
He rips Thanos' spine out. Yeah. Oh, he steals the power of a Beyonder with the oh my God, Molecule Man. So right. Molecule Man steals the power of the Beyonder and gives it to Doom, and that's how he becomes God Doom.
Yeah. I mean, Doom. That's why I say, like, with Doom has those kind of powers, Galactus isn't even a big deal to him because he can.
No one's a big deal to him at that point.
But I mean, that's just the type of character that we could have. But yeah. I mean, it's not as big as Taylor Swift possibly playing Dazzler.
Oh, thank God! No, I've had enough Taylor Swift in my NFL.
Right?
We're not bringing this woman into this.
But hold on. There's a little. This story holds a little bit of water because when she was at the Chiefs game, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, the director of Deadpool 3 were in the suite with her. So it holds a little bit of water. I know I hate it too. Trust me.
Oh. I mean, and then we have X-Men Taylor Swift, and her next album is just about the Brotherhood and how she can't stand Magneto.
And how 87 broke her heart.
Yeah.
How
he plays soft against zone coverage. But anyway, with the X-Men being in early development, that is a big thing. And you read an article from where was it?
Where?
You talking about Wolverine not being part of the team.
Oh, it was something Beyond the Magic.
Are they doing the whole thing where they go reputable. Get him again?
I don't think it's a go get him. I don't think it's a go get him. I think he's just not a staple on the X-Men, which is honestly a great way to go.
And honestly, that article doesn't mean he's not in the movie. It just means he's not an X-Men.
According to CBR.com, the
comic book report or the comic book.
The current idea to reboot X-Men in the MCU does not feature Wolverine on the team.
That's fine. That doesn't mean he's not in the movie.
Right.
Because in the original team, he wasn't there.
In the original team, he wasn't there. And in the original X-Men movie, he doesn't join the team until the tail end. And as soon as that fight's over in New York, he leaves the team.
And in first class, they try to get him in the bar, and he tells them to fuck off.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I think that's great. And we were talking about this before, and I think we talked about it on the show a little bit. Wolverine is one of those characters that's kind of a storyline whore, right? He is all over the place. He's been a Defender. He's been a Midnight Sun. He's been an Avenger. He's been an X-Man. He's been everything. So he's going to be that. And I would not strap in thinking it's going to be Hugh Jackman.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how I feel about X-Men at the same time, man. Like, I guess I'm a little annoyed with the fact that if you're going to try to reboot this, and it's going to tie into what the MCU is doing now too.
I don't think so. I think that's what Deadpool 3 is going to handle. I think Deadpool 3 and Loki are going to handle the continuity problem.
But see,
I don't think that X-Men are introduced in this saga.
Right.
I don't think the X-Men coming is going to be in.
Yeah, I think we get the X-Men after Kang is over, and I think we get some cameos. Obviously, we're going to get Wolverine. We may get Professor X and maybe a Jean Grey in there too, but we're not going to get the full team until after Kang is done.
But see, and that's the thing is, like, you have one, Quicksilver's dead, then you also have the fact that what's her name, Wanda.
No one's really dead in this universe.
But Magneto's
with the multiverse stuff.
So they'll have
she's not dead.
She'll have a version of her that's Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, to me, like, dumb.
Well, that's actually the rumor of what she's going to be in her next iteration. Is that when she quotation fingers died, she transferred her consciousness to another Wanda Maximoff, and in that universe, Magneto was like the ruler of that planet.
That's cool.
That's dumb.
Why is that dumb?
I don't know. I don't like that idea.
I wouldn't mind that where they were up in space, like kind of like what was the X-Men
they're
movie?
going to be going into the incursions where they go to the Secret Wars, and it's going to have that battle planet where all of these
world,
come together and fight each other, and that's where you'll get different versions, and you can see that ode to the old X-Men characters and all those people that were part of the Fox universe that are going to die.
Hopefully,
yeah, ideally, and then you're going to see some survive and move on, and some die.
I don't know.
That's also where we get RDJ back.
Yeah,
bring me Halle Berry. Just let's keep Storm. The rest can go.
I mean, I ain't mad at you right there, bro. You good?
Just saying. Bring me Storm. I don't need the rest. And I definitely don't need Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. That's
why.
Didn't like her performance in that movie at all.
Okay.
All right.
The first one I thought was a better Jean Grey.
Wait a minute.
I don't remember her name. The first Phoenix was definitely better than Sophie Turner.
I haven't seen the Sophie Turner version because I had no interest in Aliens versus X-Men. So
Sophie Turner was a young Jean Grey, and I thought she did a great job as Jean Grey.
I mean, you can compare them till the cows come home, but it really doesn't matter because both of them are done. And I'm sure we'll see somebody else. You might actually see Sophie Turner take that because she's a younger actress with some stardom, so you might see her back. But what about my man James Marsden? Is there no love for Cyclops in here?
Nah, him.
No, there's not.
I just like him as a person and as an actor. I've never seen anything with James Marsden in it that I was like, I don't like this.
The guy from Westworld.
Yeah.
Oh, he was good at Westworld.
We're literally reenacting the commercial.
Of what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
You didn't see that video where James Marsden, like they're at like the DMV or something, and some dude leans over and goes, "Hey,
that's a reality show that he did."
Oh, is that? I thought that was just like a funny video or a commercial or something.
So James Marsden actually did a reality show where they did jury duty, and it's one guy who is not aware of what's happening. Everybody else is in on it, including James Marsden. And James Marsden's only stipulation to do it was that they didn't make the guy look like an idiot. He's like, everyone else can look like an idiot, but we're not gonna like publicly humiliate this kid. And so Marsden's like, I thought I was pretty good in Sonic.
He's trying to get out of jury duty, right? He's like, I gotta go film something. I can't do this. I've seen this. This is funny.
So, kudos to James Marsden. I don't know who I would see as a Cyclops. It's hard to cast that, right?
You know who I could see as a Cyclops actually is old boy who played Reed Richards in the reboot.
Oh,
he was in the Miles Teller. I could see him playing Cyclops for sure.
Whoa. Would he want to do that where you don't see his face?
MCU money?
I mean,
I'll do it for MCU money. Make him black.
I don't know.
I could see him playing Cyclops for sure, dude.
Make him black.
I look like your boy from Star Trek back in the day with the little visor on. What was
oh my god, the guy
Reading Rainbow? Reading Rainbow boy?
Oh no, Geordie LaForge or Lamar. Oh my god.
Lamar Burton.
LeVar Burton, yeah. LeVar Burton, yeah.
Make me angry out here, dog. Like you don't know engineering head Geordie LaForge.
Yeah, that's his name.
He looked over at the Funko Pops like that guy right there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, in DC news, the Man of Steel writer came out and said that movie should have had a sequel before Batman v Superman.
Agree. 1000% agree. Man of Steel was a good movie. It's the only good movie I think that the DCEU put out where it was actually a good movie.
I'm gonna excuse myself because Superman just bores the shit out of me.
But you have that personal idea of Superman, which I don't disrespect at all. I understand where you're coming from with him. He's an enigma. He's a god of a character where he literally doesn't have a weakness other than one small rock that they have to give to Batman just to beat him. Right. So I respect that viewpoint, but if you're looking at it from a movie standpoint and you take your opinion away from the character, it was a good movie.
It's the only worthwhile villain, another Kryptonian that even made sense for Superman. So I just
But isn't that what it
But
always
that's just
is?
because his performance was that
no,
good.
it's Lex Luthor. But his whole crying at the end when he snaps old boy's neck and just like, I don't want to kill you. It's like, how many people has this dude killed? At what point do these superheroes get to go, you know what? Maybe this one, guys, right? Like we can snuff this one out.
It's the only other Kryptonian he's ever met alive.
There was a
Zod
whole
and all
ship
those?
of them. Yeah, it was Zod and a couple other ones.
There's 3, right?
Yeah.
Well,
3.
There's literally an entire ship of them.
Yeah. It's 3 of them that show up and fight.
I don't know. I'm with Jack, man. When you're that OP, nothing should get you. You should just laugh and be like, haha, movie.
Yeah. And
Well, no, another Kryptonian would get you.
right. Well, then it's who can fight the best.
But he's
Especially one that's
because the sun made them stronger, made him stronger than the Kryptonians.
no.
Let's
No,
talk about
they
someone who's
benefit
done
from the same power.
something that's done the Superman style thing correctly, which is actually finally got a trailer for season 2, and that's Invincible. That is the best version of Superman that I think we've seen, and that was Omni-Man. Omni-Man was great, and his son Invincible were, I think, the best iterations of how you should do anything with Superman.
We'll see what happens
Because then they introduce all these intergalactic things that are at the same power level. That's the biggest problem for me with Superman, and Invincible did a great job of it.
Never seen it.
There's actually going to be a character that is released in the second season that's more powerful than Omni-Man.
Yeah, and that's what's his name? Starts with a G.
I might tonight,
bro.
He's the god of the species that they are. Like he's not the god. He's the king of the species.
He's like their top tier general. What is his name?
And I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
I gotta look it up.
Viltrumite.
That's the species.
Yes, just Google the most powerful Viltrumite.
His name starts with a G, and I can't think of it.
Thrag,
the Grand Regent.
Regent.
Yeah, Thrag. Yeah,
Thrag,
the Grand Regent of the Viltrumites. He's the most powerful Viltrumite.
The most powerful beings in the galaxy, continuously proving his might and even defeating Omni-Man.
Yep, Thrag. So there's actually a dude in the comics, in the Invincible comics. There's another person in that universe that actually fights Thrag, but he lowers his power level to be an equal match to him, and Thrag still beats him. But he was actually more powerful than Thrag.
There was a dude that was voiced by, speaking of Star Trek, the guy who plays Worf in season 1 of Invincible. He had the lion face or whatever. That dude was a badass too. I can't wait for Invincible season 2.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I'm really shocked you haven't seen Invincible season 1.
Can't say that I have.
They say that 7 or 8 seasons might be enough for Invincible. I'm so here for it.
All right with that.
I'm so on board. If you have not seen
right
Invincible, first of all, let me tell you something. It is a cartoon, yes, but it is graphically violent.
Very graphic.
Not anything you have ever seen from a cartoon, unless you're like into like the serious anime that gets into that kind of stuff. But for mainstream media, if you're watching Invincible, do not watch it with your children.
It is honestly like The Boys level graphic for an animated feature.
I think it's better than The Boys.
I heard it's
Much
like
better.
The Boys, but animated.
I think it's better than
I think
The
it's
Boys.
better because it's not as
No. I'm saying in terms of the graphic nature of the show, it's just like The Boys. Yeah.
100%.
A writer or creator of the show that was on The Boys, writer or creator.
No,
team at
this
one
is a
point?
completely independent comic that was before this show got made. So this is a comic adaptation, just like The Boys. But no, I don't think it's the same writer.
No, one of the writers of the show.
No.
Doubt it.
I think so. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay.
You guys keep going.
In the meantime, the Spawn script is near the finish line. How long has the Spawn script been near the finish
I
line?
didn't realize we were getting away from DC. My bad. I was going to say I actually watched The Flash over the last.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Yeah.
Bro.
Well, we did with the Invincible. Let's talk about the Flash. I can't wait to hear your take on this.
On a scale of 1 to dog shit.
Can I do cat poop? No.
Ooh. Wait,
It had some moments.
Yeah.
And
True story.
I watched, and this is what's cool for me is like I watched it with my wife and her best friend.
Mhm.
So
I wasn't there.
Oh, what you mean? You watch it with your wife and best friend, dog?
So they're not comic
wow.
book people at all. They're not really whatever. They sat down, they watched it. An okay movie. Even for me, it was like, all right, there are parts of this that are very okay.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to me did need to happen, and a lot of stuff should have happened in that movie. And so I got it. It actually kept my attention though, a little better than like Batman was just. I didn't fall asleep on it.
Yeah,
that's a telltale sign right there because I was laying on the couch tired as hell on vacation. So I actually watched the whole thing and was a little drunk.
Nice,
but it actually wasn't that bad. They did some things that I didn't care for, like him going. I don't want to spoil, so
spoil it.
Yeah. You can spoil it away, dude.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, like him getting his powers and losing them, and the new guy getting his powers. Like, what was all that for? Like, none of that.
Well, that's what That's what happens in the Flashpoint storyline, though.
There is no other Flash in the other.
No, but he loses his powers though.
Right. Yeah. So in the original Flashpoint comic, Flash shows up, and instead of him being a second Flash, he is just the Flash from this new altered timeline. And since he has saved his mom, he doesn't have powers. So he knows in order to get back or stop whatever's happening, which is very much worse because it's a world without Superman, he then needs to go find his powers. There is no second Flash in the original Flashpoint. There's the reverse Flash is very much there and awesome. But
I mean, to that point, they actually played pretty.
That's where the movie fucked up, though, is that instead of bringing in like a Michael Keaton as an alternate Batman, they should have introduced us to Thomas Wayne.
Yep, I agree. But that movie would have been much darker.
Much darker.
And it would have been so much better.
George Clooney or whatever showing up. Like,
Bat nipples.
The cameos were funny, but like, even the fight sequence in the end was kind of trash. And it's one of the things that's like, the Flash is so much more powerful than he is.
Yeah.
And they always just downplay that. And I can't stand when they do that. It's like the dude beat Superman, but he's having a rough time collecting all these babies. Like, I just don't know, man.
So it's a bad movie.
It's like,
it is
just dumb shit going on. Like him getting
there's a comic.
Okay to bad.
There's a comic where they ask Wonder Woman, who is one of the most awful opponents you've ever faced in your entire life, like in a fight, like who's the one person you don't want to fight. She actually says that taking a punch from the Flash was worse than taking a punch from Superman.
Yeah.
This is in the comics, not anything movie or animated related, but in the comics.
That's accurate. Flash could be the most OP superhero of all time.
Yeah.
With what they let him do. Anyway, let's do this. We're going to talk a little bit about Spawn, and then we're going to take a break. All right. So Spawn script nearing the finish line. Again, I'll ask the question to the group. How long has the Spawn script been near the finish line? How many times?
Going on like a decade, I think.
We've been talking about Jamie Foxx. 30 years. We've been talking about a lot of things since Michael Jai White and John Leguizamo did the first one, which is a good movie.
A great movie. 1997.
I love it.
For the time that movie came out, that movie's great.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah, big time ahead of its time.
But if there was a superhero movie that we needed, I think this is one of them. This one and another one I think you're going to talk about here shortly that I won't spoil. But we need the Spawn.
I think we need it if it's going to get more than one movie.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like Spawn becomes so powerful and so many things happen throughout Spawn's whole run that just one movie of how he's made and him fighting one is not it. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about an OP character? Spawn literally becomes God.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not talking about a God. I'm talking about the one that you've read about in Christian Bible schools. Mm-hmm. He becomes actual God.
That's my point. It's like, I don't want just the guy who sells his soul to get removed, and then that's it.
Bruce Almighty became God too, by the way.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I just want to let everybody know. Yeah. Fine, whatever.
But I mean, I just want, like, if they're gonna do it, actually do more than one is what I'm saying. Actually,
dude, I'm about that. I want that to be a franchise. I'm all about that.
Did you really bring up Bruce Almighty?
You guys were talking about people becoming gods.
Actually, Morgan Freeman became God too. He was God. He
was God. But Bruce Almighty is good. But did he wear geared hardware?
Yes.
Stylish watches that are the perfect accessory for any man that's always on the go.
So good.
Whether it's a board meeting or a bar fight made with high quality materials and backed up by a lifetime warranty, you can rest assured that your geared watch will be there for you when you need it most. Go to www.gearedhardware.com and use the promo code AlterEgo20 to get 20% off your order.
I think he started wearing the watches.
No bullshit.
When he started getting it.
Yeah, no, I think I'm tired of the god tier characters. I really am. Let's go with something that is a little bit more damned. I'd love to see Spawn in hell fighting off waves of demons.
Dude.
And I'd love to see impossible odds that don't get overcome.
See,
can we have real consequences?
You know what's funny? That you just said that. That's exactly how I feel about the MCU when they're talking about all this and that. And you're like, who's next after this guy and after that guy?
But that's comic books. That's every comic book though. Like if you've literally ever picked up a comic.
I know, and I get it, but I'm just saying the point is like, even if you pick up a bigger threat, what's the point? Because you know they're gonna win.
Right.
Like that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like, you can face Apocalypse, Galactus, have freaking Thanos in a tag team 4-way fucking tables, ladders, and chairs match. Iron Man is gonna come out of nowhere, put somebody through a table, and he is Iron Man, and that's it.
Yep.
And I don't need it.
And then all of a sudden, boom, Rashiki has a ruptured spleen.
But I do need
Rashiki.
My boy, Jerry
Rikishi.
Oh,
whatever.
He's got family.
My God, stop the damn match.
Like I just.
Oh my God, Jim Ross.
I'm over it.
That's so good.
But I'm over it as well. That's why, to me, still not Endgame, but Infinity War was my favorite because they ended on such a low note, and I was like, finally, they lost.
That's why there's a movie that's coming out, and you may be mentioning this, and I'm going to blame it on Chet.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to blame it on Chet for pressuring me into saying this.
Goddamn Chet.
Because I almost paused myself once. I got to say it. The Crow reboot.
Oh yeah. We've talked about.
If you're talking about a comic book adaptation that's really going to get super dark, super eerie, super like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's going to be The Crow.
Who's playing The Crow again?
Chet posted about it a couple weeks ago. I don't post anything ever.
All I know is that The Crow is definitely, if you haven't seen the original Crow, go watch it. It's worth it.
Brandon Lee.
It's a little dark.
Bill Skarsgård.
Oh my gosh.
I'm all about that, dude. I'm all about that.
Skarsgård. Yeah. Steps into Lee's intimidating shoes to play doomed Avenger Eric Draven. It might not be possible to recreate the physical charisma that Lee brought to the role.
I don't like this.
I love Bill Skarsgård, dude. Are you kidding me?
Like this.
I gotta agree. Like, he's no Brandon Lee. I'm sorry, but we'll see.
But see, you know, I actually thought that Bill Skarsgård could have played the perfect Joker.
That'd been fine for Joker because he has that bug-eyed, crazy look.
He doesn't look like the Crow.
But that's exactly what they. No, the Crow was an insane dude.
Yeah, I know.
After he came back as the Crow, like the dude lost his mind.
Well, he was very pointed,
distraught. Yeah.
I don't know if he was crazy. I don't think he was crazy if you watch that movie because he has a message that he's sending in every time that he kills somebody. So I don't think Skarsgård is the guy. You know who would have been great to play the Crow? Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, I
Momoa. That's the movie made for him.
As long as they don't tattoo damaged on his forehead.
Momoa's too big for that. For the Crow.
Was it Mark Dacascos, however you say his name?
What?
Mark Dacascos. I want to say he's the one who actually played him in the TV show they did way back when. And he actually did a pretty good job too.
Yeah, Skarsgård to me is just too eccentric and he doesn't have a Crow look. But the last time I was super hard on somebody about that was Heath Ledger. So I'll sit back and watch.
I'm excited about Bill Skarsgård as the Crow.
He can act. He's a great actor. I just don't know about the look and the physicality for that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a break and then we're going to talk about some video games, and then we'll be done. Okay, so relax. All right, see you guys in just a minute. And we're back. Here we are. All right, let's talk about a little bit of gaming, shall we? Before we call it a day here. It's getting late here in Florida land. Ubisoft announces Tom Clancy's The Division 3.
Dumpster fire number 3.
Uh-huh.
Great. You didn't get it right the first 2 times. The third time is the charm.
I thought you liked the first one.
Listen. The first one wasn't great. I just spent a lot of time playing it.
But in the state of video games and what you play, aren't you a little hyped that it's coming out? Maybe something you might actually enjoy?
Actually, I should take that back. The first Division I thought was actually pretty fucking awesome.
We make up
especially when it came to PvP, it was great. All the other stuff that you did in it wasn't really that great, and their loot system until they changed it at the end. A lot better.
Here's the problem with Ubisoft. They make absolutely gorgeous, stunning games.
They do.
And then the concept behind their games are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
They don't expand on the depth of the game at all. I mean, their games are kiddie pool level games. You get in, you do the same thing in a certain area, you go unlock another area, it's an exact replica of what you just did.
Mm-hmm. And
like, give me something different.
One thing I didn't like about The Division was that everything was a bullet sponge. Everything.
Yeah.
I was like, this is already unbelievable, so you're gonna make it even worse. Got it.
It's one of those things too where it was after you get your builds and you build real, you can start melting stuff, but it was just too hard to get your hands on that gear. There's a map I must have ran 1,000 times. It's supposed to drop this chess piece. Never got it.
Yeah.
Everybody never got
Diablo.
it. Like, I mean, I could try. I thought it was a myth. My buddy would get it every time. I'd run people through it. They'd get it I never got it. But the PvP in it was absolutely, to me, amazing. It's one of the first games I've ever played where you can have a guy 1v4 or fight an entire server by himself and walk out and win if you built correct.
But see, that's what I hated the most about that game.
Right. That's honestly, that's why I enjoy Fortnite as much as I do, because no matter what, no matter how good your loadout is, you can still get sniped.
Well, that's my point. It's like,
but see, there should have been different tiers in the Division. Is like, if you get to a certain point where your gear is OP, go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't just pick on people who are trying to enjoy the game, the casual players.
Right.
Like, there was no incentive for the casual player to play the Division ever.
Don't you want to get shit took? Get good, kid.
But see, like, if you think about the top PvP games out right now, Call of Duty, there's still an incentive for the casual player to play it. Fortnite, a huge incentive for the casual player to play it. The Division, there was no incentive for the casual player to play it.
And your comment of get good, when it comes to people like that are geared so highly, there's almost no getting good that could be done aside from running and getting lucky to possibly get the gear. That's on top of being in the area where you're going to get crapped on all the time.
That's what I was going to say. That's the other thing, is they put in the time. So it's one of those things where you put in the time, you keep running, you get lucky. Hey, more power to you. You can also roll your gear. You know what I mean? It's just like any other what do they call those damn things?
Video games?
Not really video games. Like your World of Warcraft.
Massive multiplayer, massive online multiplayer.
Yeah. Okay, I guess. But your min-max.
Open world.
My bad. That's what I meant. Like when you're min-max.
Yeah, like
so like that's basically what it comes down to, is more so the min-max.
But it was like, you know, the Call of Duty and the Fortnite games are cool because everyone's here. And I'm all right with games like, you know, Destiny. You had to grind a little bit. You had to get better guns. But even then, like, you had the guys that had the better guns. You could still be a better player than them and outdo them when they had the OP guns. In the Division, if you had the OP gear, it didn't matter how good you were.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you're doing PvP.
Yeah.
There's a multiplayer game that got scrapped.
That was the thing too. There's always a build that got you.
The Last of Us multiplayer got scrapped.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have played that anyway. I would have had zero interest in that.
They say the first one was actually really good.
No, I'm just saying the narrative of that game is good enough. I don't need to PvP anybody. Once I've beaten the story mode, I'm like, okay, I don't care.
They said it was
That'd be like putting PvP in like God of War. Like, no thanks.
Yeah,
they did that actually.
How about this? Jedi 3 is happening via Star Wars. There was Fallen Order, and then Jedi Survivor, and now it's going to be a Jedi 3.
I've never played.
I'm all about that. Oh, dude, they're one of my it's in my top 10 video games ever. Both of them are.
They're good. I don't know. I got frustrated with it quite early because of that one boss that we reported on that one time, but I just haven't been that laser focused in to beat it. I just get bored with it. But here's what I will never play because I already see enough of it because of my wonderful daughter. Bluey is getting a video game.
What the hell is
the
that?
Australian-based kids show about 3 Australian cattle dogs, or 4 actually, that I get to listen to every morning of my existence because my daughter loves that show.
My son loves it too.
Game, releasing November 17th.
Let's call it what it is. It's a Blue's Clues ripoff.
Hold on. No, it's not.
100% falsehood. There is
it's not.
The only similarities between Bluey and Blue's Clues
blue dog
have dogs in it that are blue.
My point exactly. Whole gimmick.
Well, that's a pretty big.
Honestly, listen. As because you two aren't parents, so let me say this as a parent. I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully. Hold on.
Assume that I'm not a parent? but I don't.
I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully, but as a parent, this show is actually phenomenal.
Fantastic
for kids. It is phenomenal for kids, dude.
I catch myself watching it too.
Yes, I do the same thing, and there's some funny parts in that show.
Well, there really are. I will say this as a parent, having been going through this the second round, because I have my 2 older kids and we get to watch other stuff when they were younger, Team Umi Zumi and all this other stuff. I am so happy that Bluey is a thing because it is watchable as an adult and I can be like, okay, I don't hate this at all. And it's just, I don't know, a video game. Yeah, no, thanks. But still, that's interesting.
But I mean, for a game for, you know, your 6-7-year-old demographic, I would like to have this for my kids at that age.
I'd like to just, besides talking about regular games, has gaming and games in per se hit this little plateau? Besides really Starfield right now, what's out there that's worth? You know what?
Starfield has hit a plateau too. We're going to talk about Starfield a little bit later, but
I was saying it's nothing more than
but I was just talking like the state of gaming. Like I just like. There's nothing I want to play. I see all these new games.
We're reaching a saturation point. I actually agree with you.
You know what I mean?
agree with you 100%. Yeah, we're reaching a saturation point.
I don't see it.
I think the problem is we're going to eventually need new hardware before we get the better software, because we reached that point with the original Xbox with Halo. We got to a certain point where Halo reached its plateau and there wasn't much more you could do, and then all of a sudden the Xbox 360 came out and changed the game. And we reached that with the 360 with the Call of Duty franchises and Madden, and then it wasn't until the Xbox One came out.
I'm with Ryan on this one. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, we have the Xbox One X. I mean the Series X. My bad. You have the PlayStation 5. They're brand new systems. It doesn't matter how good it is if the games themselves are no good.
Amen.
It's not what they're.
Every year.
So it's not it's not the processing speed or the graphics or anything like that. We're going to have to get to a point where we have different interaction with the game.
Oh, you want to have
to really
an immersive reality where
it's like more of an immersive. Like I think that you were onto something when you said that the 3D reality was still a couple years away. We weren't there yet for the 3D.
You want Ready Player One.
But I'm not kidding. I think that is the next step in gaming, is the third dimensional gaming, the 360 degree immersive atmosphere in gaming is going to be the next step.
What if we hold studios accountable instead of letting them do DLCs?
Well, that's not the problem, because the problem is always going to be the almighty dollar. So talking to them about that is never going to change anything. What I think gaming has done to itself is come up with genres, right?
Yeah.
It came out with the looter shooter, the MMORPG, the action adventure, this. So every game you make now in the world has to have a genre. And if it's going to be in that genre, it has to play a certain way. And so gaming itself has put itself in a box and said, okay, we can't create this because then we don't know what to call it. We don't know what to label it. I mean, that's the problem with games nowadays, is that like, one of the most revolutionary games of all time was Grand Theft Auto, because you could go anywhere and do anything within the confines of this city, and you could do it, and that became this massive single player free open world game, right? That was the first ever real, to me, in my opinion, other than maybe Oregon Trail, just kidding, open world game.
100%.
And so once that happens, other studios don't go, that's cool, we're going to keep doing our thing and working on our game and making it be what it is. We're going to say, oh, shit, Grand Theft Auto was successful. Let's make Grand Theft Auto, but let's put a twist on it. Let's make it an assassin who goes from one spot to the next, just killing people until the kills eventually get harder. Oh, that's cool. We're going to do that, except our guy's going to be a Greek god, and he's going to run around, and he's going to do this, that, and the other. It's all fitting into one little genre, and there's only one gaming console that's kind of done their own thing forever, and that's Nintendo.
Switch.
They've always created whatever the hell they wanted and put it out as Nintendo. While Xbox Series X and PS5 are going, well, you can actually see how many nose hairs are inside of Miles Morales' nose when he takes the mask up, and you can shoot, electric web shooters out of his Air Jordans. And Mario's like, here's Mario again. But check this out. This time he's jumping on a blue shell, and people still go apeshit for it.
He puts on a raccoon suit and he
throws his hat.
Right.
But you know what? To expound on that a little bit, you know who else is really put a damper on the gaming community is the PC community.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, these developers cater to the PC community tenfold, comparatively speaking, to the console community.
You know why, right?
Partially because it's where it's easier to make and develop for. You don't have to
because of that.
That's where your attention. That's also where your media attention comes from. You got these streamers on Twitch and YouTube and these other platforms, but they're on PCs.
And anything
it costs $4,000, but you get a better game experience.
I don't think it's better per se. I get what you're saying, and you're right. It's easier for them to point and click. Listen, people who think that a mouse and keyboard aren't easy. When's the last time you missed the little red X when you were trying to close out of a window?
Never.
You know what I'm saying?
A question for Nello. Why is it a better gaming experience? Because when I'm in my basement, in my man cave, I'm on my couch and I'm looking at a 65-inch TV. Why would a PC be better than that?
Because of the processing and the reaction time.
More successful gaming, sure. But if I'm a gamer, who your average gamer, 8 out of 10 gamers are going to agree with me. You just want to sit on your couch and chill.
No, they're not. PC gaming is better because of the software that's always updating, always able to the hardware. You get a new you can get a new motherboard, a new video card every year. PlayStation isn't releasing a new video card for PS5 until they bring out the PS.
But I'm also not Tim the Tap Man.
It's a cash cow.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you were saying, that the reason the PC community gets catered to is because they are doing the streaming. They are bringing more eyeballs to the game for the casual gamer that want to watch those streamers. Yeah. So they cater to them, but that's neither here nor there. But let's talk back about Nintendo. Shit. Apparently the version of Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch is not great, and Ed Boon promised to fix the Switch.
Have you seen some of the YouTube videos of this?
No. Oh my god, it is so.
Look it up. You should watch. You should watch a fatality.
I don't want to get copywritten on here, but I'll watch it later. But
you don't even need to watch a video. Just literally Google Nintendo Switch Mortal Kombat 1. The graphics almost look like it came from Nintendo 64.
Don't show anybody you're watching it. I'm telling you, it's something of another planet.
It is bad, dude.
Mortal Kombat 1 Switch gameplay. Oh boy, I know when I start to. Oh man!
But the game itself is.
Oh no! Oh
yes.
No!
Yes.
Okay, looking at the graphics now.
It's bad, dude.
This is awful.
It's terrible, bro.
People
spending $70 for this game or whatever the heck they sell it for on Nintendo Switch.
I mean, hold on. Let's be honest. That to me right there, that didn't look that bad. But it's also it's also a Switch. You're understanding you're playing a Nintendo product who's never been about the technology. It's always been about the games for them.
Yeah,
that's probably something.
At the same time, if the developer of Mortal Kombat was willing to produce a game for that console, they should have done a better job of producing that game specifically for that hardware. You had an entire product that you promised somebody.
It's not that they're getting lazy. It is harder to develop down and then up. You can't do that. So basically they set their bar for the Series X.
Then Mortal Kombat should have never told Nintendo that they could deliver on a product.
There it is.
He's right. Ding ding ding.
That
Give
is
this guy a prize.
That is a product. We can deliver. They said we're going to deliver Mortal Kombat 1. Let's not act like any Switch game that you have, not one of them looks like your Series X or your PS5.
Ryan, I understand what you're saying, but Mortal Kombat told Nintendo, I will deliver you a game. And that game not only was subpar to what they released on the other consoles, it was significantly lower than every other developer that has produced a game for Nintendo Switch over the last 3 years.
Let's hear what Jack has to say. He watched the trailer up close and personal.
I'm going to go ahead and say that if you are Mortal Kombat and in that studio and you are promising a product, if you're promising a product, you should promise the same product across all those genres. No, you should. In which case
it's not possible though.
Right. And so don't offer it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's stealing money from somebody who maybe is a Mortal Kombat fan.
Here's the thing.
Only has a Switch.
Hold on. Here's my point. Because when they advertise this game, which they've done to a big extent,
Yes.
Football ads. Anywhere you look is Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat.
Internet ads.
They're not showing the Switch version of that game, and there's a reason for that.
Because they know it's not their first
Right.
version.
So that's why I'm not saying that they shouldn't put it out on Switch. Sure. But if you're going to say that, you should, hey, we're putting it out on Switch, but the graphics are terrible. So you really should know what you're getting before you buy it. Instead of saying, here's Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch, here you go. And them going home and seeing just how awful the graphics are. That's deceptive, and it's
false advertising.
Yeah, it's false advertising.
Here's my thing, Ryan. So
the highlights they show is a PC version of the game with specs turned up to 100, and the video card is the greatest video card it's ever seen. Then you go buy it, even for PlayStation.
Yep.
You get the game. It's like, bro, this looks like dog crap.
Because
here's my point on this. Nobody was expecting the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 to look like the PS5 version or the Xbox One S, One X, whatever. Nobody was expecting it to be on par, the exact same game. But the version that the Switch got was so significantly lower than the other versions, it was laughable. That's the problem. If I was solely on the Switch, if that's all I ever played, and I bought Mortal Kombat 1, I'm going to go into that purchase being like, yeah, my buddy has it on PlayStation 5. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to be a great game because I have the OLED Switch. Graphics look wonderful on that. But it literally looked like a Nintendo 64 game, dude. That is the problem. It was so bad.
Yeah. Let's move on to this. We got a couple of things, but yeah, that definitely needs a lot of work. Spider-Man 2 is implementing fall damage. I can't wait for the clips of Miles Morales and Peter Parker and Eddie Brock falling hundreds of stories to their death.
I was upset with this because I used to go up to the top of the Avengers building and literally just jump off the top and then watch myself fall.
Yeah.
There'll be a mod.
You can still do that. You can turn it off.
No, you can turn it off.
Yeah, but still, I mean, what is that? Just to heighten how hard the game is?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just something to make it more competitive.
Hey, go for it. It's a single player game.
Yeah,
so enjoy.
Does it need to be harder?
I still want to watch those videos. Speaking of next gen versions, looking at you, Ryan, Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting a next gen version coming to consoles.
I'm all about it.
That's another one, man.
I love that
one that they're going to brush up, and they're going to.
That's an all-time game
and newer.
Take my money. I'd get it. Diablo 2 remaster did it. StarCraft did it for me. I'll do it. Red Dead
is Red Dead a top 10 game ever?
Yeah,
this whole franchise as a whole. Like you're talking about.
No. I'm just talking strictly Red Dead 2. Just that one singular game. Is that a top 10 game ever?
Yes, it is.
I would agree. Ryan?
I've never played a Red Dead in my life, so
that's amazing. for the amount of chaos that you love in a game, I'm really surprised Red Dead has never crossed your.
Yeah,
I agree with
you. You would love Red Dead 2, dude. Absolutely. It's such a good game.
I just already know what's going to happen. It's the first time Ryan walks into Valentine, and somebody's going to say something to him along the lines of, "Hey, you son bitch," and Ryan will, "What? Bow!"
I'm killing everybody. That's like I'm straight outlaw. That's it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. That would be so fun.
No,
and the outlaw route is hard.
Very hard.
It's very hard. But it's fun. That's probably the most fun version in that game. Is the outlaw route.
Yeah, it's good it's easy to be good, and you get a lot of rewards for being good. But when you're the outlaw in that game,
if you just wait till the end of the act, you'll destroy the whole city anyway. So just wait.
Sea of Thieves finally get a single player mode. Is that why would you do that? Isn't that the whole point? Like to caption a ship with your friends?
Some people don't.
I'll tell you why. Because the PC crowd
trolls
cried and demanded it, and now they're getting it.
Wait, they cried and demanded it? Why?
Because some people don't like playing with people online.
Because some people don't have friends.
Let me tell you something.
I don't have friends with people.
Is lonely boy machines. That's all I'm
I would turn off crossplay with PC right now. If you said, Jack, you'll never get to crossplay with a PC player again, I'd be like, where do I sign? Right here?
That's literally every game that exists.
Yeah, same. Speaking of Starfield, mods are allowing for seamless space travel. Now, I didn't read too much into this story. This is just allowing them to fly into a planet faster.
No, so it's a PC mod. And so, like, in Starfield, where you can go from one star system to another, and you have to do the grab jump and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
So this mod is allowing for like 10 or 20 times the speed of light travel, where you can literally pilot your ship from one star system to another.
See, that's cool. That's what they should have done the first time, in my humble
But it would have been such a much bigger game. I understand why they didn't, and I'm okay with it. Because this is a PC only mod. It's not a console mod.
Well, most mods are only,
and those will
only
eventually
PC.
make their way to console.
Yeah, but no, not usually. It's hard to mod a game on a console. It can be done, but it's hard.
No, I'm saying like Starfield, not Oblivion, Skyrim. Eventually, when they came out with their later editions, added all those mods to the console.
But that was the studio that added that. I don't think they'll add that.
I think they would. If it's popular enough, they will. And final story of the day. The UK has approved the Activision Blizzard buyout. We're one step closer to World of Warcraft coming to Xbox.
Do you want it, though, in the state of Warcraft?
And that is one that you wouldn't have to bitch about the PC community having the advantage, the tactical advantage, in my opinion.
To be honest with you, if World of Warcraft comes to Xbox, I may actually check it out.
I probably would too.
If you were able to make it fluid to where you use the joysticks and there's no clicking and it's like the buttons are the powers, maybe. But you'd have to.
Diablo did that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, they do a lot of macros in that to make it a lot crazier. But I think if they gave us vanilla World of Warcraft,
which
the
is
first
the
one
best
that ever had, and they gave that to the console community, they would see so many Daras. It would be ridiculous.
I know that you said this was the last story, but they're starting to hype BlizzCon, and I go on the internet.
I'm kidding.
And I go on the internet, and like everyone's like, what am I going to BlizzCon for? So you can unveil another World of Warcraft that's going to suck, another bad Diablo, and so on and forth. Blizzard is in trouble.
They are, which is why they're being purchased.
Yeah,
Blizzard needs they gotta get their shit together.
And here's the thing, I agree, and I will finish out with a little Diablo comment because it's definitely been very vanilla. It was very cool getting through the story, working through it, getting to the top, but then season 1 starting over, for whatever reason, it just was not as good as D3.
No, those malignant torrents or whatever the hell you want to call them, just
and not to mention the this is like, and please, for the other OG Diablo player in the room, doesn't it seem like it's like a third of the items and legendaries that you would have gotten in D3 or D2?
And then like once, I don't know, the legendary, the drop, the EQ drops. I know people out there like, oh, I just ran this like level 24 to Nightmare Dungeon and got the best drop. But like I've been doing dungeons at level 70 and up, and my EQ has been the same since 60.
It's just been.
Listen, as a first time Diablo player, my idea of the game is this: there is a lot of grind for not that much reward.
Not much.
I
reward.
agree. Yeah, I mean it's getting ridiculous.
The amount of
I don't know what the other games were like, but it's just way too much work for not that much shit.
That's what the Division 1 was originally.
Right. And the items that you used to get, I mean, you had sets that you could go after. You had all kinds of unique items, not just certain legendary powers that went on anything. You had to find the item that had that power and use that and make it work, which was fine because there were so many options. And the only things that were really class specific were certain items for certain characters. And now it's like everything works for everybody. Everything only drops for you. Like you can't find other items.
Because like I also like you used to be able to, if you like, let's say you had a necromancer, you'd find a wand or some shit like that, or a book of the dead or whatever.
Right.
You would be able to then send it to your other character. You can't do that in this.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that just kind of is perplexing because you did share a stash across
the board. You don't do that now. And at one point, why am I getting one? I'm getting 50 rare for one legendary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What am I getting? I'm not going to use a rare weapon. I'm all legendary. I'm not going to rare. I'm not going down.
And so what they want you to do now is find the same item with the same impact on it and rip that off of there and put it on the legendary. And I'm like, why? Just give me better gear.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a very
And what is the point
frustrating
of doing
go.
the season? So
None.
you can look good? Like there's
None.
no power buffs, there's no real EQ you get.
The season gear really has not been
It's all
outstanding compared to the regular gear.
It's all cosmetic. And what used to happen is make tweaks to certain sets, so that made different builds viable for new seasons. And that's kind of what made that fun, is you say, okay, well, now I need to go find this set so I can do this with this character. And now it's like, well, we're just going to rotate certain powers throughout the season, and it might work, it might not. And it's been lackluster.
That sounds miserable.
Bring back the paragram levels or whatever they were called.
Paragon. Yeah, the board is another one that I'm like, okay, I like this, but it seems like you're making it obnoxiously more work than it has to be.
Agreed.
Way more work for not that much reward. Again, like you're not getting crazy power buffs out of that board.
No, +5 this, +5, and I'd rather get more points to get like unlock other skills instead of having to devalue something and then go and build something else.
We also used to be able to find bosses on the map and go fight those bosses. That was another thing that you used to be able to do in D3. You could find any boss on any level, crank it up to whatever challenge you want, and go fight that boss. I don't think I've had to refight a boss since I beat the campaign.
Well, the world bosses are like only this time period. So if you're not playing now, you're not getting world boss. That's kind of
it's the most obscure times. Like, oh, there's a world boss at 11:37 at night. Like, what?
Right.
Why?
Or like
there's
4
a.m.
There's a world
3 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, now, boss, I got to clock out. They're doing the thing.
There's a world boss.
I got to go beat.
Needless to say, Diablo 4 has been a little bit of a disappointment. I'm really hoping that they come out with some sort of update to change some things.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'll be watching this developer update.
Tomorrow is one of two. I mean, October 17th is the release of season 2.
And I think they know, because all the streamers that are out there, which opinions don't always matter for them, but it does when they're all out there going, this is a shit show. Yeah. We don't want to watch this. We don't want to play it. So I think Blizzard is going to hear that. Yeah. I mean, granted, there have been a lot of games that have made a lot of fantastic changes throughout their lifetime. Diablo 3 is a perfect example. So we'll see. Who knows what they're going to say? Anyway, that's going to do it for us here, episode 158 of the Alter Ego Podcast. I've been your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Ryan, Rhino, Mr. Nello. We will catch you guys next week.
Bye, chat.
And that Nintendo Switch version, look that got their back. It's a fucking Honda, not a Ferrari. Let it run where it runs.
Well, if you paid for a Ferrari and got a Honda, you'd be upset.
Yikes.
He just hit you with a hammer.
Really. It's the same price.
It's the same price, but you have a Switch. You should have known it.
Yeah, so then why don't you drive this Accord then, bitch?
That's a step up from my Civic. I'll take it.